Hi, everyone. This is Alex Trebek. Listening to Don Geronimo and Mike O'Mara is really putting yourself in jeopardy. So I never do it.
And I'm reading now on the web all this stuff about this disc jockey Michael Savage that got fired.
Yeah, and somehow we were involved in this. I'm curious to hear about this and maybe hear that tape.
Well, we've got the tape. We'll hear it tomorrow now. I never heard of this guy, but it's on AP, UPI, everybody's got it now. MSNBC today fired Michael Savage for anti-gay comments. The talk show hosted at a weekend show for the cable channel referred to an unidentified caller as a sodomite and said he should get AIDS and die. Let me see. The incident that resulted in his firing, innocently enough, Savage was taking viewer phone calls. Hey, that's great TV, incidentally. Disc jockeys taking phone calls.
Yeah, really, exactly.
About airline horror stories. And a male caller began talking about smoking in the bathroom. Half an hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your ... the caller said before he was cut off and his words became unintelligible. So you're one of those sodomists. Are you a sodomite? Savage asked. The caller, who I guess he didn't hang up on, said, yes, I am.
There you go.
And here you go. This is where the guy loses it. The disc jockey says, oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that? Why don't you see if you can sue me, you pig? You got nothing better than to put me down, you piece of garbage, and you have nothing to do today. Go eat a sausage and choke on it. He asked for another phone caller who didn't have a nice night in the bathhouse with someone who's angry at me today.
Wow.
And that is all, you know, you can say I'm being egotistical. I don't give an ass. It's based on the fact that this caller named our name.
Frank called and mentioning our names.
For a disc jockey we never heard of before.
A guy that we have never mentioned on this show, I believe.
I don't know him. I mean, I swear
I've never heard of him.
I know a lot of people in the radio business. I mean, I guess I've heard the name. I've never heard of the disc jockey.
I guess he has been on WABC, but has just left there, and this will be good after his recent comments. He's headed to work at a station now in San Francisco. So good luck to him.
That's super.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Anyway, we'll play the tape tomorrow. We don't have time to get into it now, but, yeah, hey, it's good for one time to be on the other end of this.
Yeah, I mean, no fuss, no muss. I mean, you know, he apparently went off on the guy and used all those terms about. I'm not sure where that came from.
And if anybody
is that the guy's rap? Is he a conservative guy that like is anti-gay anyway?
He wants to build walls around borders and that kind of thing.
Oh, if anybody in the press wants a statement from us, though, I'd be glad to give it right now. Rob, can I have some reverb, please?
All right, your Don Geronimo's statement on the Michael Savage firing to follow.
Number 2 or number 1? Two. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, this is Don, and I speak for my best buddy Mike.
Hello.
We ain't never heard of Michael Savage. Thank you. But he seems like a real dickwad.
Sure sounds like it. Thank you. No,
please,
sorry, no pictures.
No photos. Please, no photos.
Complicate that, please. Make that like the scene in The Godfather.
Hello, Don and Mike. Hello?
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah, you're on.
I heard this morning on some news program that Michael Savage was going to sue you guys over losing the job at MSNBC.
Thank you. Now, we're finally going to get to the issue at hand.
On track.
Now, thank you for bringing that up. And if Michael Savage...
it said that the guy said that, I guess Michael Savage was complaining that you put some guy up to calling him and make him look bad.
Thank you. Thank you for opening this can of worms up, and now we will deal with it. I hope everybody in the industry is listening now, especially lawyers. Up until yesterday, at about 5:30, I'd never heard of Michael Savage.
I had not either.
We have never uttered the name Michael Savage on our show. There are a bunch of guys out there who listen to our show and call TV shows, and there's that one guy that burps, and there's the other guy that calls Larry King all the time, the great tape where he calls Larry King and says, you're wearing really nice suspenders tonight.
Yeah, and then, you know, they're all over the place.
But we don't employ them. We don't ask them to do it. It's something that these guys do. So one of these guys that listens to our show
called this disc jockey, who, again, I'm going to state emphatically, until yesterday we had never heard of and had never spoken a word about.
Yesterday was the first time that guy, to my knowledge, had been mentioned on the show.
So, somebody who listens to our show, who, Michael Savage, we did not hire and did not ask to call your MSNBC show, of which we did not even know existed.
I had no knowledge that show existed.
We didn't even know that Michael Savage, whoever he is, existed. But before we get to the S-storm that's happened today, here is the tape from over the weekend on MSNBC.
I haven't heard this yet, and I'm looking forward to it.
I haven't heard it either. I've seen transcripts. Apparently the guy says something, the caller says something about us, and then this guy, Michael Savage, goes nuts and makes all these comments that he's now having to backpedal for. So here is the tape where the guy, not affiliated with our show, calls up and mentions our names, and then listen to this guy just go into a tailspin.
All right. Until the next time on Unsavage Airways, this is Michael Savage. Let's go to a caller. If you have an airline horror story, give me a ring right here on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please. Did you have a worse case than this one?
Hey, Michael Savage. Pleasure to speak with you today.
Yeah.
I was flying out of LaGuardia, and there was 2 undercover security guards.
Yeah.
Somebody was smoking in the bathroom.
Someone was smoking in the bathroom.
Unbelievable.
Okay. What happened?
Half hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your... because your teeth are real bad.
All right. So you're one of those sodomites.
Yeah.
Are you a sodomite?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that?
Oh.
Why don't you see if you can sue me, you pig? You got nothing better than to put me down, you piece of garbage? You got nothing to do today? Go eat a sausage and choke on it. Get trichinosis. Okay, we have another nice caller here who's busy because he didn't have a nice night in the bathhouse, is angry at me today? Huh? Get me another one. Put another sodomite on. No more calls? I don't care. Let's go to the next scene. I don't care about these bums. They mean nothing to me. They're all sausages. Next scene. On to the next scene on the Savage Nation.
So, you hear the guy is incredibly talented.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could make out what was said there, but here's... I'm going to give you the transcript. Let me see. The guy calls up, as you heard, with this thing about the airplane. And he says, half an hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your... And they turned the caller off. I can only... Well, now we can re-listen to it. I think the guy was saying something like, take your job.
Yeah, it was take your spot or something. I mean, that's what it is. And then he gets dumped, and then after he... I mean, it sounds like... it doesn't sound like he was dumped. It sounds like somebody turned the volume down on the caller and then brought it back up again.
So, half an hour flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your... The caller was saying when a fast-thinking MSNBC producer cut him off. Michael Savage did respond. So you're one of those sodomists. Are you a sodomite? Caller. Yes, I am. Savage. Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that? Why don't you see if you can sue me, you pig? You got nothing better than to put me down, you piece of garbage. You have nothing to do today. Go eat a sausage and choke on it. So, that happened yesterday. This is what pissed me off today, and Mike and just about everybody involved with our company. This guy's doing an incredible spin control campaign now.
Sure.
Now, again, before I tell you how this guy's trying to blame us for this, listen to it again. Listen to it in context. Hear what the guy who was not put up by us, hear what he says, and then listen to the reaction from this jerk-off. Listen to this.
Until the next time on Unsavage Airways, this is Michael Savage. Let's go to a caller. If you have an airline horror story, give me a ring right here on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please. Did you have a worse case than this one?
Hey, Michael Savage. Pleasure to speak with you today.
Yeah.
I was flying out of LaGuardia, and there was 2 undercover security guards.
Yeah.
Somebody was smoking in the bathroom.
Someone was smoking in the bathroom.
Unbelievable.
Okay. What happened?
Half hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your... because your teeth are real bad.
All right. So you're one of those sodomites.
Yeah.
Are you a sodomite?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that?
Oh.
Why don't you see if you can sue me, you pig? You got nothing better than to put...
So you heard it. The guy's low rent. So, all of that happens, and then as it turns out, he gets fired from this show on MSNBC. And I've done some research on this guy, being as now he's And I'll tell you why in a second, because he's talking about
now is that his regular shtick that he puts down the gay community? Is that what he does?
Well, I've seen him written about in more than one publication. He's a homophobe.
Been described as a conservative in the press.
And a homophobe. So I'm reading this, and then I laughed at first. I said, well, so somebody crank called the disc jockey I never heard of, and the guy got mad. Well, he got fired. And he's put out a giant apology on his website. I read it to Mike today.
Oh, I was laughing out loud.
And we laughed. But now here's the thing that is just a pisser. This is from Radio and Records, which is the industry newspaper. Okay? Let me see. Michael Savage apologizes after MSNBC fires him for anti-gay tirade. At the top of his radio show yesterday, Savage said the incident was misrepresented and that he was set up by a crank caller from a competing talk show, Westwood One's Don and Mike, who Savage said have made vicious personal attacks against me.
Save that one.
Yeah.
Now,
save that one.
Now, listen, I understand when you get in trouble and you say something stupid and you got to spin and you got to apologize.
We've done it.
But listen, Savage, whatever your name is, until yesterday, you were off our radar screens. We had no idea who you were. We didn't care who you were. We care who you are now because you're talking in the press saying that we
set you up with this caller, and that is not true.
Which we did not. And second, the funniest part, he says we've made vicious personal attacks against him.
That is not true.
Okay?
Anybody who listens to this show knows the truth, which is yesterday is the first time that name was mentioned on this show.
And I've had more than one person say to me, and I don't disagree with it, well, hey, it's great publicity. Yeah, it's great publicity for us, except we're being lumped into a conversation where this guy is talking about sodomy, AIDS, a guy who just got fired. Somehow, we're being lumped into the story. And yesterday I really didn't care because I just thought, it's just one of the idiots that listens to our show. But now this guy, Michael Savage, has apparently thought, oh, hold on, I'm going to spin this and say that it's Don and Mike who put the guy up to it, and Don and Mike have made vicious attacks against me.
Yeah, and I want to get all the facts laid out because, there's this little gray area between this guy saying this and then you'll hear him say the caller made a vicious personal attack. And I want to find out what's going on here and get all the facts laid out on the table. And now the fact is when a caller says he's talking about suing us, incidentally, bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on, please. Our lawyer is Donald Ephraim in Chicago, and our corporate lawyer is Steve Lerman at Infinity Broadcasting in Washington, D.C.
It has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? If that happens, countersuit.
Now,
anyway, the fact is, there's a lot of this spin going on. There's a lot of this coverage. Anytime a DJ steps on it, the press goes into a bit of a feeding frenzy. And I'd like to know what the real deal is here, and he ought to be better advised before he's making comments about us making vicious personal attacks when we didn't mention that guy's name until yesterday.
Let me see. Hold on. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at DCR-TV, which quotes Radio and Records, which is what most people in the radio industry look at, which, again, says he's a serial crank caller at Savage on his Monday show. Don and Mike have made various vicious personal attacks against me. Here you go. Here's his apology. What happened on the air is much different than what is being reported. I was in the midst of an airline horror story segment with a great set. Out of nowhere, a crank caller from a competitive talk show went on describing his airline horror story to make vicious personal attacks against me.
Now, far be it for me to give anybody the benefit of the doubt, but this statement is talking about the caller vicious personal attacks, and I want to find out from whoever wrote the story in R&R whether the vicious personal attacks, you know what I mean? Something's got to be up here.
But either way, this dude, Michael Savage, is still Even if you give him that benefit of the doubt,
he's still kind of legitimizing his behavior by throwing some dirt at us, which is totally unwarranted.
He's blaming us. Now, I'm going to listen to the tape again and see if I hear a vicious personal attack from this crank caller.
Right.
Because they potted it down.
What I heard was the guy says we should... It sounds like...
We should talk about his show.
It sounds like the caller is saying, Dynamite should take your spot because they have better teeth.
That's what it sounded like. Let's listen again.
Yeah. Until the next time on Unsavage Airways, this is Michael Savage. Let's go to a caller. If you have an airline horror story, give me a ring right here on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please. Did you have a worse case than this one?
Hey, Michael Savage. Pleasure to speak with you today.
Yeah.
I was flying out of LaGuardia.
Yeah.
And there was 2 undercover security guards.
Yeah.
Somebody was smoking in the bathroom.
Someone was smoking in the bathroom.
Unbelievable.
Okay. And what happened?
Half hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your... because your teeth are real bad.
All right. So you're one of those sodomites.
Yeah.
Are you a sodomite?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig.
So,
how's that?
Now, hold on. Stop it right there. It sounds to me the only part dumped out should take your spot or take
How do you go from that to, are you a sodomite? You should get AIDS and die.
So, I mean, I hear a vicious personal attack, but not coming from the caller.
Right. Now we go back to his apology, his public apology. And this is the part that cracks me up. This is just so 100% BS. Out of nowhere, a crank caller from a competitive talk show went from describing his airline horror story to making vicious personal attacks against me. I signaled and thought the crank caller was cut from the air. His insults continued in my earpiece, and I reacted to him personally as an individual who was attacking me to defend myself. Unfortunately, my personal comments to this crank caller who were broadcast. Yeah, no, duh, you idiot. You're in a TV studio with the red light on. In no way did my comments reflect my views of disease and suffering in any way. I've spent my entire life in the field of alternative medicine, trying to heal the world and bring comfort to the sick. If my comments brought pain to anyone, I certainly did not intend for this to happen and apologize for any such reaction. Let me repeat. This was an interchange between me personally and a mean-spirited, vicious setup caller, which I thought was taking place off the air. It was not meant to reflect my views of the terrible tragedy and suffering associated with AIDS. I especially appeal to my many listeners in the gay community to accept my apologies for any inadvertent insults which may have occurred. Now, you've just heard the apology. Let's listen to the tape again.
All right.
Now that you've heard, very good, the PR'd up apology.
Until the next time on Unsavage Airways, this is Michael Savage. Let's go to a caller. If you have an airline horror story, give me a ring right here on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please. Did you have a worse case than this one?
Hey, Michael Savage. Pleasure to speak with you today.
Yeah.
I was flying out of LaGuardia.
Yeah.
And there's 2 undercover security guards.
Yeah.
Somebody was smoking in the bathroom.
Someone was smoking in the bathroom.
Unbelievable.
And what happened?
Half hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your... because your teeth are real bad.
All right. So you're one of those sodomites.
Yeah.
Are you a sodomite?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that?
I mean, listen to that.
Yeah.
You can hear what the guy said.
Are you a sodomite? You should only get AIDS and die.
The guy said, Don and Mike should take your spot because you have bad teeth.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I didn't hear any vicious
I mean, I think it
attack.
said take your spot. I said Dynamite should take your, and then he's cut off, and because you have bad teeth.
So the thing is that somebody, and I think someone from our company is going to get a hold of at least some of these trade publications to let them know a couple of points. We have no idea who the guy was that called. He's just one of those guys that calls. We don't sanction those calls. We don't sit around and go, hey, call. Really, I swear, we'd never heard of this guy till all this stuff happened yesterday.
No, and, most of the time, all of the calls like that we're aware of are shows that we've never heard of.
Yeah, we don't know who the guy who is like the guy that says, you're gone.
You're gone. We don't know that. I don't know that guy's name.
No, it isn't. Yeah. So that's the first point. We have no idea about that guy. We've never spoken with him. We don't sanction the call. We're not saying we don't think it's funny, but we had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Number 2, We had never talked about Michael Savage until the story broke yesterday, and there have never been any vicious personal attacks against him by us.
Right.
The way the story is being broadcast and written, it gives the appearance that we are attacking the guy. And even today, when we're discussing it, we're being very careful not to attack this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there are things I'd like to say, but I'm not going to say them. All I want to say to this guy, Michael Savage, is I'm sorry that you just got fired from your gig at WABC and KSFO. I'm sorry that you got fired from MSNBC. But don't blame us. We never heard of you. Okay? I don't know how much clearer we can make it. And from my listening to that tape, I heard a guy say, Don and Mike should take your slot because you have bad teeth. And then you called him a sodomizer and hope that he gets AIDS.
And die, you pig.
Listen, just be man enough to stand up and say, hey, I lost it.
Yeah.
Don't blame it on us, dude. And if you, for goodness sakes, if you're getting some advice from somewhere that you want to sue us, Infinity Broadcasting, the attorney's name is Steve Lerman. Bring it on.
Absolutely.
Bring it on. You're lucky we're not suing your ass for dragging us into this crap.
Absolutely. And, before yesterday, no knowledge of this.
None.
And then, the first time I've heard the tape was on today's show. Is it funny? Yes, it is funny.
All I'm saying.
I mean, it's funny to hear the guy go off.
All of the headlines that I'm reading, the New York Daily News, Savage blames Don and Mike for setup. The Washington Times, MSNBC fires Savage for anti-gay remarks directed at caller from the Don and Mike show.
I have no idea how long this guy's been in the business, what his history is in the business. I really have no idea, but
I don't know.
It would seem to me that whoever's giving him the advice, or if he's making these judgment calls on his own, that he ought to rethink a few things.
Yeah, let me see.
Because really, you don't just come out and say we set this call up. He knows that we didn't set this call up, in my opinion.
No, of course we didn't.
And it's ridiculous.
And he's not on our radar screen, dude. I've seen your picture now.
Does he have bad teeth? I guess we can't say that or not.
Well, Mike, I can't tell because he's not smiling in the photo.
Is that the guy on the left?
Yeah, the guy with the cowboy hat.
More like a fedora.
Yeah. Handsome, I'll tell you this. He's much handsomer than either you or I.
Oh, absolutely.
However, listen, just, grow a set. Grow a set of nuts and just admit that you made a mistake. But don't drag us into this, man.
Yeah, please.
We got enough problems on our own. We don't need...
Really, can you imagine if we went... Let's take the calls that we have received about competing radio stations on this show. I mean, they're in the thousands.
Impossible. Just think of the calls we've taken just about Howard.
Sure.
We take 1 million calls just about Howard.
Are they annoying sometimes? And do we get mad sometimes? Absolutely. It's all about, what you say. And what comes out of your mouth is really what caused everything to happen, not what came out of the caller's mouth.
Right. And listen, just be a man. Just say, so you got fired from MSNBC. Make your apology that, frankly, I don't believe. But if you're going to do it because you think it's going to help you PR-wise, do it. But don't drag me and Mike down there with you. Don't drag us down. And, dude, you got to learn how to take phone calls.
Right.
I mean, on this show, that would be a laugh riot. We wouldn't start... It takes a lot more than that to set us off on a caller.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I've had a lot of people say, oh, this is good publicity. You guys are getting notarized. Well, yeah, we're getting some...
And getting notarized hurts because of those stamps all over.
You know what I mean? It's notable publicity that we're getting.
Notoriety, right.
Yeah, but we're being lumped in with some guy who for everything.
And when I hear conservative, that puts up a red flare because I think, what, is this the type of thing does he mention this sodomite type stuff? Does he say that? Do you know anything about that?
Without passing any judgment, I'll just tell you two things from his website. Here's one headline from his website. It says, Supreme Court sides with sodomites. And the other headline is, affirmative action is nothing more than affirmative racism.
Okay.
So this is the political ilk that we're talking
I'm getting
about.
from R&R now.
Yeah.
The controversial talk show host has been the target of numerous protests by activist groups, including the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, which called his firing about time.
Well, there you go. Okay.
The guy's like cruising for a bruising.
Yeah, I mean, when you're really preaching that kind of stuff, you get into trouble.
But
what do we preach? Comedy on this show. That's what we do.
Yeah. Michael Savage, listen to me now, because I know it's obvious you listen because you've heard of us and we've never heard of you. Shut up.
And here's some future. Here's just a little advice. Okay, want to deal with the gay community, Michael? This is our advice to you. You get two people who have been associated with your show for over a decade, who happen to be gay, and who are very, very lovable, fun people, and you send them down to the Gay Pride Parade to interview people at the Gay Pride Parade. And in the case of Cheryl the Big Dyke, she went down there and did the finest piece that she's ever done for us. Yeah. That's how you do it, I mean, really.
You can make fun of gay people like you make fun of anybody, but you don't do it like that. But even if you're going to do it, don't drag us down there with you. Jesus. And how pompous to think that you're so important that we would send someone out to sabotage your show and that we've made vicious personal attacks.
Right.
I don't know how...
And really...
I don't know how more plainly I can state this. Until yesterday, Jack Diamond was a better-known radio host in my mind than you were. Right. Andy Pollin is a better-known radio guy in my head than you are.
And you know what? Here's another little bulletin. You're on television. National television. You're on the radio. You have to learn how to deal with vicious personal attack.
And the thing that I don't buy 100% is I didn't know I was on the air. Please, you're sitting in a TV studio, you got a camera with a red light on you.
Right.
Why not just come out and say, hey, I lost it with that guy?
A great approach.
Say, hey, I lost it, I apologize.
Name me anybody that's been in this business for any length of time that hasn't lost it. Name me a week. Maybe even a day where you and I
Buzz
don't lose it.
Buzz hasn't lost.
Buzz hasn't lost
yet.
it.
Any day now.
Buzz, you don't lose it very often.
No.
Anyway, it just sucks that this guy's doing it, and I hope the weasels at Infinity do contact all of these trades to let them know that this is being spun away that we don't want to be involved with.
And you know what? It's really more a legal question that we're probably not qualified to answer. But when I read that thing in R&R, that disturbs me. And obviously this guy wouldn't retract himself if he made the statement. But if this was an error in the way it was reported, I'd like that retracted.
But even if that's
for somebody who's had something retracted in R&R before.
But even if that's the case. Every one of the reports does say that Michael Savage says that this guy was set up by a crank caller from our show.
And that's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's not true, and that's, I don't like that.
Hey, and listen, we can take the heat. Jesus Christ, we live in the kitchen. We can, we can stand it.
This show originates from the kitchen.
Turn it up all the way.
Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Waiting Room, right here. That's this show. But I'll tell you one thing we don't do is pussy out. Could you imagine that? We said something, more likely me than you, but said something, and then came on and said, well, it was Ron and Fez's fault.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. That's a great idea.
Try that.
What's the deal with that? And you guys don't know. You guys listening don't know that over the last 24 hours, I've been contacted by the New York Times, by the New York Post, by the Washington Post, by the Washington Times, not just industry newspapers, real newspapers.
Yeah, and our strategy on that.
Yeah.
You know what?
You want to know what we have to say? I've said all of them. You want to know what we have to say? Listen to the show.
That's exactly how we handle that.
Listen to the show, because that way you know it won't be taken out of context.
And if it is taken out of context, we can read it and tell you what's wrong with it, because you've heard it too. You can agree with it.
I like that.
That's why we do it that way now.
What a funny situation, though.
I'll be interested to see how it plays out. And I will give you my prediction as to what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. I believe this is going to go away. Yeah. I believe that he is probably going to get the advice that he should have gotten earlier on, and this thing will fade away. It behooves him, and I am not an attorney, but it does behoove him to make this go away as soon as possible.
Well, he made his TV show go away.
Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? Because the more he keeps dwelling on us setting up a caller, the more we're going to be, have to come in here and talk about it.
Yeah, because we're dealing with it. I mean, I'm getting calls from presidents of this company today saying, "What did you guys do?" And I'm saying, I never heard of him.
Right.
I never heard of the guy. I say, if you got a tape of me making a vicious attack against him, pull it out, and I'll quit on the spot. But I never, not a word.
It's crazy.
Guy ain't on my radar screen.
No, I mean, you know what? Can we get back to one more pertinent fact in this?
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter if you ever had. It wouldn't matter.
I know, because it's part of the business. Everybody does it.
No, and he's also a public figure. That's the issue here, too. That's not even the fact that we didn't, which is true. We never mentioned the guy. We didn't know the guy existed.
I mean, but if he wants a feud,
we're good at it.
Well, bring it on. If you want it, Michael Savage, whoever you are.
Anybody who's listened to this show knows that we have been the recipient of personal vicious attacks, and we have participated in vicious personal attacks.
I want to tell you,
public figures.
We're undefeated.
Right.
A lot of times, the TV stars don't talk to us anymore, but we never lose.
Right.
We never, and in disc jockey wars, and that's all this guy is, a glorified disc jockey, wearing his fedora. Jesus, listen to this.
Until the next time on Unsavage Air.
Until the next time.
This is Michael Savage. Let's go to a caller. If you have an airline horror story, give me a ring. Right.
He's kind of a puker, too. If you have an airline horror story,
how are you?
Right here on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please. Did you have a worse case than this one?
Hey, Michael Savage. Pleasure to speak with you today.
Yeah.
I was flying out of LaGuardia.
Yeah.
And there's 2 undercover security guards.
Yeah.
Somebody was smoking in the bathroom.
Someone was smoking in the bathroom.
Unbelievable.
Okay. What happened?
Half hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your... because your teeth are real bad.
All right. So you're one of those sodomites.
Yeah.
Are you a sodomite?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that?
Oh, yeah, it's a great segment.
Yeah.
Good, thanks for blaming us for that.
Oh, dear me.
That's a smart move. It takes a lot of guts. Hello, Don and Mike. I know we got a break. Let me just take a call here. Hello?
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 You're on the air.
Don and Mike?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi.
Listen, I spend a lot of time in my car, and I listen to a lot of radio, and I know Mike Savage.
Here we go. I'm sure you know him just as well as you know Mike and I.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know his radio show, okay?
And
he's a conservative shock jock, okay?
Honey, listen, here's our whole issue with him. We don't know anything about him. Our issue is he did this stuff. He's dragging us down there with him. He should just shut his friggin' mouth.
Yeah, but you know something? How you guys say you don't pay these people to do this, you don't know who these people are that phone in. First of all, these are immature idiots that do this. But aside from that, you encourage it by the introductory to your show.
And honey, can I tell you something? Hold on, slow down for a second. Do you know that tape today was played on Bill O'Reilly's show?
I know. I heard Bill O'Reilly.
So now
Bill O'Reilly
can't imagine that Bill O'Reilly would play a tape like that. Honey, I'll tell you something else. We've been crank called on our show by people, and we have the tapes in the rack where we're made to look like idiots.
There is an enormous difference between hearing a tape like that and laughing at it, and playing a tape like that and laughing at it, and getting together and calling these people, or having them over to our house, or having them come by the radio station and say, here's what we want you to do. We want you to call Michael Savage, and we want you to call him at this particular time, and here's what you say. We have absolutely nothing to do with that.
I understand
but
that.
even beyond that,
what I'm saying is, what can you envision knowing anybody who would spend endless amount of hours calling into radio.
Wait a minute. I'm talking to her right now. I'm talking to a person right now.
And hold on a second. Wait. Hold on. You're obviously. Let me tell you something right now. Wait, can you shut up?
A crank call.
Can you shut up for just a second, please?
A crank call.
You are pointing the finger at the wrong person.
Amen.
Don't point the finger at the crank caller that said a guy had bad teeth when this guy comes back with sodomite, eat a sausage, and die. You moron.
And then he blames it on us.
What is wrong with you?
No,
you have no problem with that?
What do you think of that? What do you think about his comments?
Hey, hold on.
Think you are.
Hold on.
What about his comments that he made? What do you think of that?
I'm telling you, that's his shtick.
That's his shtick. Telling people to get AIDS and die is his shtick.
That shtick? That shtick?
Wow.
He's a brilliant.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What do you think of gay people?
I have no problem with gay people.
Okay, so you don't have a problem with somebody saying sodomites die of AIDS?
I wouldn't take him seriously.
That stick?
You mean that's comedy?
He took his radio shock jock shtick.
So that's funny to you, but the crank call isn't.
For the last time, regardless of what anybody does on their show, whether you like it or approve of it or think it's funny or not funny or shocking or whatever, the point is, if you do it, stand up and be a man and just say, I'm sorry. What your friend is doing is trying to blame it on us.
He's not my friend. I don't know.
He's trying to blame it on us. You don't see me running down the street trying to find your parents, blaming them for giving birth to you, so you would call in and F up my show today.
All I'm saying is...
Oh, here we go again. Are you going to say it again? Are you going to repeat yourself?
Blaming him for, you feel unfairly blamed because you don't know...
Yes, because there's a story in the national press...
Called in.
Honey, listen to me. There is a story... God damn, shut up. There is a story in the national press about a stupid disc jockey wishing AIDS and sodomy on someone, and in a roundabout way, which really isn't roundabout, the disc jockey who did it is blaming us for it. That's my problem. And my problem with you is that you are old. That is my problem with you. And I have a prize for you. I'm going to buy you a casket. Hold on, please.
And I would believe, if she doesn't have a problem with what was said, I don't buy that comment about the gay community either.
No.
She's a fan.
Mm-hmm. Well.
Amazing.
Well.
Wow.
Well, I'd like to hear from...
And, if you really want to nitpick, and I didn't hear the entire call, and it sounds to me like we heard it, and the only part that was dumped out was Dynamite should take your spot because, and then it was turned up because you have bad teeth.
Really bad teeth.
My God. I mean, put that on the, on your scale of vicious personal attack.
Yeah, as opposed to death and AIDS.
It's funny.
How many times have we been called fat?
And I got news for you, honey, because I know you're still listening right now. Eating your fast food, driving your small Kia or Geo, whatever it is you're driving, with your fat, greasy hands all over the wheel. That tape that we have of you, that will be replayed on the show.
Yes.
We will play that on the show. Mm-hmm. With you trying to give us a hard time.
Right.
We put that in our archives as well. But the difference is, we're not blaming anybody for it.
No.
I'm saying we had a real dumb past menopausal woman call our show and try to defend Michael Savage.
Can you slow down on the vicious personal attacks on that woman?
I wish a migraine on you.
Oh, you bastard. What cruelty. What naked cruelty.
What the hell?
Wow.
What the hell?
Well, it's always interesting. You know what? I swear to God, we're back here, back in town today, and look what happens.
So anyway, that's it. Everybody still wants to talk about this. I think we're just about done talking about this, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've covered it. We had to make our statement because that's how we get our word out.
And that's it. That's our statement. Just to reiterate, we have no idea who the guy is that called this disc jockey. Mm-hmm. We didn't sanction his call. We think it's funny, but we didn't sanction it. We didn't tell him to do it. Until this story broke, we have never talked about Michael Savage. We've never made any vicious personal attacks against him. And by the way, the story is being written in many publications. It appears that we have attacked him.
And that's wrong.
And we would like an apology.
Yeah, I agree.
Would like an apology. Nice big bouquet of... Or you know what I like? I'd like a nice big donation to be made to the Gay Men's Choir.
Amen.
In the name of Michael Savage.
Right.
Michael Savage with you.
That's a great idea. Yeah, don't apologize. Just write a check.
This is Michael Savage. I'm wearing a safari hat right now because I am a crazy disc jockey, and I want to say anything that I say today is blamed on Don and Mike.
It's their fault, even though they didn't hear me.
Don and Mike, who work on a competing talk show.
Right.
I heard the guys on in D.C., like on WTNT.
Yeah, let's find out if we're really competing with them
on that station. Hey, let me
or vice versa, I should say.
Call Cameron.
Let's get that.
What's Cam's phone number?
Should be up here behind your...
Is he on at the same time?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
872.
Thanks, buddy. I'll have Cameron pull up his ratings versus our ratings to see if we really compete with him.
Absolutely.
At least here in D.C.
Hi, Cameron.
Hey, Cam, it's Don and Mike.
Hey, boys.
Hey, can you pull up from the last book, the last ratings book? Do you know if this guy Michael Savage is on WTNT?
I've heard of him.
Home of G. Gordon Liddy.
That guy.
Home of the 0.5 share.
Right.
I'm reading now that he's on in the afternoon against us. Would you
on TNT?
Yeah. During this break, would you just bring down the ratings for us and him?
Done.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Bye-bye. We'll just find out a little bit about how much he's competing with us.
Yes.
At least here.
We're a competing radio show.
I don't have the ratings for all the cities. I don't think he's in all the cities we're in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do have one thing in common. We've both been fired from New York.
Yes, this is true.
But you didn't see us going out blaming the radio chick for it.
No way. No.
You didn't see us getting on blaming Scott Farrell because we got fired in New York. There's only one person, two people to blame for that, and you know who they are. Mm-hmm. We'll be right back.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
Well, during the break, we tried to do some research, but we found out that this guy, Michael Savage, who we'd never heard of, and apparently no one in Washington has, we can't compare our ratings to his because he's on at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But he's doing a super job.
Yeah. Well, he's in old Larry King land.
He's doing a super job. 0.7 share.
Yes.
So that's,
All right, good.
He set the market on fire.
We're competing.
0.7.
Yeah. My God.
Competing with us.
What is wrong with people?
Watch out, Don.
It's almost as funny as, oh boy, I don't want this whole show to be...
We should really, though, talk about the exercise of finding out what time he was on around here.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, honest to God, there are like 70 people running around this building going, what time is he on? I don't know. What time is he on? I think it's he's on when Don and Mike are on. No, 10 to 1. Oh, he's on middays. No, he's on 10P to 1A. Definitive word. Who is it? Michael Savage. Where? When? Hello? Just trying to find out when he was on the radio.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
Shut up! Until the next time on Unsavage Airways, this is Michael Savage. Let's go to a caller. If you have an airline horror story, give me a ring right here on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please. Did you have a worse case than this one?
Hey, Michael Savage. Pleasure to speak with you today.
Yeah.
I was flying out of LaGuardia, and there's two undercover security guards.
Yeah.
Somebody was smoking in the bathroom.
Someone was smoking in the bathroom.
Unbelievable.
Okay. What happened?
Half hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your... because your teeth are real bad.
All right. So you're one of those sodomites.
Yeah.
Are you a sodomite?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that?
Oh.
Why don't you see if you can sue me, you pig?
Shut
you got
up.
nothing better than to put me down, you piece of garbage? You got nothing to do today? Go eat a sausage and choke on it. Get trichinosis. Okay, we have another nice caller here. He's busy because he didn't have a nice night in the bathhouse. Is angry at me today? Huh? Get me put another sodomite on. No more calls? I don't care. Let's go to the next scene. I don't care about these bums. They mean nothing to me. They're all sausages. Next scene. On to the next scene on the Savage Nation.
Click.
The Don and Mike Show. Shake a hand. Have a word with Don Jones.
we beat this to death today in our opening segment. And I want to say I am pissed at Radio and Records, and especially at radioandrecords.com. And Tony Novia, my former intern who's now an editor there.
Right.
Shame on you. The headline, they do a morning and an afternoon update.
Have they just updated it?
Yeah. The update for the afternoon says, Michael Savage apologizes. Talk radio, blah, 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 blah. After reportedly told an unidentified male to call him a sodomite, tell him he should get AIDS and die. So then you click on for more details, right? And then you go, let me see, today's news. All right, well, where's the update? You have to bear with me. Our computers are very, very slow. Here it goes. So, update. Savage said the incident was misrepresented and he was set up by a crank caller from a competing talk show. Westwood One's Don and Mike show. Savage claims he signaled his MSNBC who have made vicious personal attacks against me.
Well, now say that again. What was it? Because that's the important part.
Savage said the incident was misrepresented and he was, quote, set up by a crank caller from a competing talk show, Westwood One's Don and Mike show, who Savage said made vicious personal attacks against me.
Okay.
There's no other way that you could... We're not going to rehash this whole thing again.
Has anyone from our network commented on this, or do they have anybody? Was that done?
What's Dum Dum's number?
Which one?
Alan Dum Dum.
Oh, he's the best one. 460.
460. You know how foolish I was to believe earlier today.
I told you.
Yeah, I know that the
I mean, I don't do that very often, but I said,
the Westwood One was going to handle this. I promise. We'll get right to the Barry White thing. All right, throw that thing away.
Hello, this is Alan, line 1.
Hey. Shut up. Useless tool.
I mean, we would like to have our people make a statement. We don't speak to the press. Nice. We don't do that.
We're not allowed. Something on our new contract. We're not allowed to speak to the press.
Right.
Because they're afraid the truth might get out. So
they're not aware of the fact that the truth will set you free.
Our whole thing was, how about somebody from this company?
Yeah. Responding to that.
Hey, Alan.
Yes.
It's Don and Mike.
Hey, guys.
Hey, we're just looking at R&R Online. We're on the air, of course. We're looking at R&R Online.
Tell me.
And we don't see anything from Dana. There's nothing. They got an update. Michael Savage's lead story update, but there's nothing there.
All right, well, I'm sure I'll hear back from him.
Okay. Well, thanks again. Thanks for the support.
Hey, you got a lot of it today.
A lot of support.
The truth shall set you free.
Really kind of important we get our word in there, I think, sooner than later.
You know, because the more everybody in the industry is reading this thing, and we're still glommed in there with him on this thing.
You know my feelings.
What are your feelings?
You know.
No, I don't know. What are your feelings?
We'll talk about it later.
No, let's talk now. You're among friends. Let's talk now. What are your feelings?
I'm amongst a million friends.
It's not like it's time sensitive. What are your feelings?
No, listen, I agree with you. What else do we need to talk about?
Do you think... Well, let me hear you say it. You're a management person.
Go ahead.
No, let me hear you say, how do you feel about the fact that Mike and I were misrepresented in our portrayal of Michael Savage wishing AIDS on someone and sodomy and etc.?
I think it was inappropriate alignment with that situation yesterday. Your show should have been nowhere near it.
It's too bad that nobody from this company had the balls to call any of these trade magazines to say anything. And, we can't, because you made us sign that goddamn contract that says we can't talk to the press. So what are we supposed to do?
We just want somebody to do that for us, because we can't counter this.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay.
Thanks. Tell Dana I hope he had a nice day off.
You mean the contract with a lot of zeros?
God.
Yeah.
Did you have a bad day, Alan?
Hey, Alan, incidentally, how's the revenue coming in from this show? A lot of zeros there, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
You got me.
Right. Okay, bye. Bye.
Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Three Slurpees. Yeah! And all the ships at sea, hey, they have lovely teeth. Don Geronimo and Mike O'Mara.
Welcome to the show. Oh, let me start. I got to tell you this. Boy, am I in a fine mood today for many reasons. We're getting our just desserts with this Michael Savage guy, and I'll tell you some of the reports about that in a second. Incidentally, I found out his real name.
Oh, really?
You're not going to believe it.
What is it?
I swear to Christ, not made up. His real name is Michael Wiener. Michael Wiener.
There you go.
Okay, here we go. Michael Savage. We'll get to this, and we'll be on this like nothing. Thank you to Radio and Records for actually writing the correct stuff. And, you know, Mike, again, if you and I had not gotten on the air yesterday and spoken our piece, our side of this Michael Savage gay thing would never have gotten out there. Because nobody from this company...
No.
You know, they sent us all kinds of emails yesterday saying that, all these vice presidents were going to get involved, and nobody ever stepped up and said...
No, there was never a statement made. So why? Why defend us?
Now, I have two interesting stories to read to you, and then I'll get off this topic. This is from Radio and Records Online, rronline.com. Headline, we're the top news story today. Don and Mike fire back at Michael Savage. The Westwood One duo insisted during their Tuesday afternoon show they didn't know the caller who phoned into Savage's MSNBC show and who mentioned their names. Don Geronimo said he'd never heard of Savage before his firing from MSNBC, and Mike O'Mara added that Savage needs to make this go away as soon as possible. The more he keeps dwelling on us setting up a caller, the more we're going to have to come in here and talk about it. Geronimo noted what's upsetting him is the association of Savage's comments with the Don and Mike show. There's a story in the national press about a stupid disc jockey wishing AIDS and sodomy on someone in a roundabout way, which really isn't roundabout. The disc jockey who did it is blaming us for it, Geronimo said. That's my problem.
Perfect.
Now I say that.
That's it.
That's good reporting.
That's a statement. Yeah.
Now, let's go to another radio internet site.
Very good.
Radio Business Report, rbr.com. Headline, Don and Mike deny any involvement in Savage incident.
Good.
Listen to the last line.
Okay.
This is the one that's the funniest. Westwood One's Don and Mike denied the vicious personal attacks that talk radio networks Michael Savage claimed they regularly launch against him, as well as them being behind the prank caller that enraged him on July 5th, causing MSNBC to kill his show. Reports have also come out that Savage is contemplating suing the duo over causing the incident. Now listen, for the last time, Michael Wiener. For the last time. We're tired of being dragged through the mud with you. And if you really want a legal battle, bring it on.
Absolutely.
Bring it on. Our attorney's name is Steve. Which one should I give? Steve,
well, there are many of them. You can give any one of the millions. An army.
Oh, God. I'll just call Infinity Broadcast. I don't know if you want to talk to Steve or his assistant.
I don't...
But you want to sue us? Go ahead and sue us.
If he's still talking about this, it's ridiculous. And the fact is, anyone that listens to this show knows that we have not mentioned this guy until this incident happened.
True. Let me see. And we also have just a bit more. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Savage fired after anti-gay remarks to Yolo County man. Then we got another story from allaccess.com. But the best one that we have is from All Access that has the alleged vicious attack that the caller, who we didn't set up, said to Michael Savage, the part you didn't hear.
Okay. Oh, good.
Savage's firing was precipitated by an active prankster calling his show. Bob Foster, here's a shock, Mike. This guy lives in Sacramento.
Is that the caller's name?
Yeah.
All right.
Says he's been on CNN 25 times, including 3 times on Larry King's show.
Bob Foster.
Had once convinced Fox News he was witnessing an earthquake when he was really making the whole thing up. He usually gives a plug to his favorite radio show, The Don and Mike Show. Foster called, please note, and nowhere here is this being written, That, like, this guy's on our staff and we ask him to do this.
But you know what? Just like we said yesterday.
Funny.
It's funny.
Foster called Savage's show Saturday when Savage was doing what he described as shtick about airline horror stories. Foster started a yarn about someone smoking in a plane's bathroom and then, in a non sequitur, said, and here's the exact quote, Don and Mike should take over your show so you can go to a dentist appointment because your teeth are really bad. That, ladies and gentlemen,
that
is the vicious personal attack.
Ouch.
That caused Michael Weiner to ask this guy if he was sodomite, and then say you're one of those sodomites, you should get AIDS and die, you pig.
He flipped that. Wow. Over that.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
So anyway, listen, Michael Weiner.
Maybe he's sensitive about his teeth.
Listen, shut up. Really, and I mean it now, shut up. If you're going to talk about legal action against us...
Hey, we're having fun with this.
Bring it on.
I mean, we know what the truth is. And the truth, believe me, on that issue is on our side. And it's a wonderful position to be in because we didn't launch any vicious personal attacks on you prior to this incident, and we never even knew who you were prior to this incident.
Although I can understand this, what the guy's doing, because now that I've done some research, I found out he just got fired from WABC. He just got fired from MSNBC from KSFO in San Francisco. Right. He just got fired from WRKO in Boston.
Right.
He just got fired from a station in St. Louis.
Wow.
So the guy is like in a tailspin. And what he thinks that we're the guys that he's going to blame this on?
I don't get it.
Not a chance, Mr. Weiner.
But, you know, a lot of these guys will fabricate things, and if he's saying that that we gave him vicious personal attacks, you know, we have never done that prior to this incident.
Until Monday again.
And when did we give him some attacks after we found out about what he was saying about us?
Yeah, but they weren't vicious.
No.
Trust me, we've been vicious. Hello, Don and Mike show.
Hello, Don and Mike.
Hey, hi.
Hey, I was listening to Mr. Weiner yesterday, and he was saying that you guys are part of a liberal conspiracy now. And I found that laughable that you could be part of any conspiracy.
You know, and we certainly, you know, as hard, and may I say, as hard as I might try, we could never be part of a liberal conspiracy on this show.
We're a part of a conspiracy to get rid of stupid disc jockeys with bad teeth. Hello, Don and Mike show.
Don and Mike?
Yeah.
Mr. Savage should take over your radio show so that you can go to the dentist because your teeth are bad.
Okay.
Ouch. Wow. I'm going to have to launch a vicious assault on you now.
Here's my attack on you, sir. I'm gay.
Hello, Don and Mike. Hello.
Hi, Don and Mike. Why are we giving this guy any airtime? I've never heard of him. He's a nobody. You guys are somebody.
It's in the press. It's top of mind. It's top of the news.
This is why we're giving him airtime. I mean, apparently you don't read newspapers. Washington Post, Washington Times, New York Post, New York Times, Los Angeles Times.
Big story. We got to comment on it. This is when we make our statements. If anybody wants to hear what we think about something, you listen to this show. So this is the only place we can do it.
San Francisco Observer.
I must have skimmed over that nobody.
Pardon me?
I must have skimmed over that nobody.
Well, listen, I agree. He is a nobody, but he's gotten a bit of notoriety now. And our whole complaint all along was, here's a guy who said this thing to this prank caller, got fired, and rather than just being a man and taking his lumps, he's trying to blame it on us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't do that. And he's not just doing it on his radio show. We can take that. He's like giving interviews, and it's in the press and junk. So
he's trying to get famous and get another job.
Well, good luck.
Well, anyway, you guys rule. Thanks.
Thanks. See you later.
I mean, the guy is what he is. And I think anybody that has ever listened to this guy, and we never have, I mean...
I'm going to send him a case of Bright Smile, though.
Yes, absolutely. Notice that the teeth are sensitive.
Yeah. And how about I send him some Bright Smile, and you send him a nice new hat.
That'd be wonderful. A nice new fedora.
Hello, Don and Mike show.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Hey.
You want to hear the funniest thing that what he said yesterday to back himself up on his show? I heard it, too, just for a little bit before I could stomach it no more. He likened himself to that old story about the preacher in Nazi Germany who, when the Nazis came for the Jews, he didn't say anything. And when they came for the Christians, he didn't stand up and say anything. But when they came for him...
I don't get it.
There was nobody left to stand up for him. He likened himself to this preacher that everybody's coming after, but nobody would stand up
Well, you mean,
for.
so now the guy is trying to be a martyr?
Yeah.
Is that what he's trying to be now? He's trying to be a martyr?
Are you sure he wasn't comparing himself to the Nazis?
All right, one last call. Hello, Don and Mike.
Hello.
Wow, he's nuts. Hello.
Hello?
You're on the air. Hi.
Who, me?
Nope, some other woman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, I was calling about you guys and the tornado announcement. Yeah, why don't you feel the need to announce that every now and then? Isn't it an FCC regulated law?
Well, that's why we do it. It is
the whole thing is we have to, but you don't get. Again, I'm sorry that my very sophisticated humor went over your low flying.
No, I
head.
appreciate your sense of humor, sir. It's just.
Well, what did you just say?
I appreciate your sense of humor, really. I'm sarcastic as all hell, too. But I'm just saying, I mean, your job is. You're on a radio show. That's a pretty sweet deal. And to just take 2 minutes out of the day to announce the FTC,
announce the
I will tell you, if we do get a tornado, I would venture to say if it gets to your house, it'll blow those prescription medications all over the living room.
I guarantee it'll hit this girl's house because I guarantee she's living in a trailer park
by the river.
And No. I was just thinking, it would be a good idea. I was at College Park last year when the tornado hit, and
yes,
I mean,
we do it.
I know.
So listen, we made the announcement, honey. I'm just saying it's a drag for the other stations around the country.
You might want to.
What?
For those people just tuning in, you might want to.
Well, no, we
do an entertainment show. We made the announcement once. If you want nonstop chat about that, go to the news station because that's all they're going to be doing now.
And we do what's legally obligated. That's what we are supposed to do. And if it was more accelerated, we would have to do it legally again.
Right.
And if there was something more dangerous, if there was a tornado that had touched down, we'd have to do that again. We do that. We do that because we're legally obligated. But as Don said, we do this kind of radio show. We do a comedy radio show. And if you need to get constant reinforcement on that story, you have to go to another source.
All right. And about that guy, the sodomy guy.
I love it when you make a point that you think somebody will understand.
I told you, she
gulps and then just blasts on to another thing.
It's called changing the subject. You guys do it all the time.
Information
I think
beads
he's
on her
bullshit,
brain.
and you guys are right.
Yes, she did.
What?
You used the S word.
I said shoot.
No, you didn't, because it was preceded by the word bull.
What? All right, what'd you say, Rob?
You picture a brain that's been freshly waxed.
This is great. I like it.
And the information just beads on her brain. It gets to it, and it stops.
It's like she's got a Gore-Tex brain.
She does, like a brand new Chevrolet.
The water freshly waxed.
Right.
The water beads on her brain.
Yes,
Right.
information.
It gets there, but it won't seep in.
Information is like the water, and it beads and rolls off. It never is absorbed.
Honey, don't worry. If something bad happens, we're forced by law to tell you about it.
All of our brains on this show, however, are like Bounty paper towels.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Organic
and I'm just
sponge.
trying to add that, you guys shouldn't get in trouble for that other guy.
They answer to the FCC, not the CCC.
We're not getting in trouble for anything.
Everything's fine and peachy.
All right. Happy weather to you.
Back to you.
Bye.
Where is my bong?
Bye-bye.
Where's my bong? Rain dance.
There she goes.
Custom car polish from McGuire.
Goes.
Where is my bong?
Jesus Christ. Okay. So that's the latest on the disc jockey, and that's the latest on the weather.
There was a survey done by a company called, I think, the Burris Company.
Okay.
A very famous research company out of Texas. They do major surveys for all kinds of gigantic organizations. And they did a survey of the most well-known radio personalities in America.
Mm.
The top 25 best-known radio personalities in America. And let me see. Limbaugh was number 1.
Of course.
Howard was number 2.
Right.
And, then all the rest. And I think Jim Rome was number 18. And we were number 20. Now, the fact that we were number 20 is certainly nothing you want to stand up on a building and wave a flag about.
No, you don't want to have a we're number 20 party.
But listen, but here's the thing, though. Throughout America, they did this survey where they call people,
We had 29% of people in America who were aware and listened to our show, according to this study. Now, for these other guys, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, these dopes are on 300, Dr. Laura, they're on 300 or 400 radio stations.
Yes, an enormous number of stations.
In all the major markets. You can't go to a big city and not find a radio station with those shows.
We are on a handful of stations.
Comparatively, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, hello, Don and Mike.
Hello? Radio God.
Howdy.
How is Michael Savage number 5 on that list, and you guys are number 20?
Well, I'll tell you why, and I've really never heard of the guy. I'm glad you brought that up.
Who's number 5?
Michael Savage. Did you know he's on 320 radio stations?
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's how you get name recognition. I mean, I've never heard of him, so I guess I don't count. But, yeah, about Michael Savage.
This is good.
This is great.
I love it.
We've been covering this the last couple of days. This comes from Radio and Records, Street Talk, the radio industry Bible. Headline, Don and Mike vindicated in savage attack.
There you go. About time.
Despite what Michael Savage thought, it now turns out that the caller who precipitated Savage's now infamous Get AIDS and Die rant that got him fired from MSNBC was not set up by Don and Mike. In fact, professional prank caller Bob Foster now feels kind of bad that Savage got blown out. My intention was not to get him fired, Foster told the San Francisco Chronicle. My intention was to drop the Don and Mike name. So,
East Coast Bob.
I get this, and then I get a copy of today's San Francisco Chronicle, which has an entire giant article about this. Listen, this guy, Michael Weiner, is so bad at spinning out of this thing that he says.
Is he still at it?
Well, here's his first quote. I'm sitting in front of the camera. I have no control over that, Savage said. In radio, I have total control. He got really vile with me. I meant to insult him personally, not all people with AIDS. Now, the San Francisco,
what a quote that is.
The San Francisco Chronicle has the exact quote that Michael Savage, said was so vile.
Right. Good.
So here you go. Here's the part of the story that's interesting.
This is a vile, vicious personal attack.
Yes. From San Francisco Chronicle, major newspaper today. Savage's firing was precipitated by an active prankster calling a show. Bob Foster, 39, a Sacramento computer technician, says he's been on CNN 25 times, including 3 times on Larry King, and once convinced the Fox News host he was witnessing an earthquake when he was making the whole thing up. Foster usually gives a plug for his favorite radio show, The Don and Mike Show. Foster called Savage's show Saturday night when Savage was doing what he described as shtick about airline horror stories. Foster started a yarn about someone smoking in a plane's bathroom, and then in a non sequitur said, and this is the quote. Now remember, this guy, Michael Savage said, this is
what precipitated the rant.
We've been wondering what the quote was. Here's the vile quote. Quote, Don and Mike should take over your show so you can go to a dentist appointment because your teeth are really bad. That's it. That's it.
Vicious.
Most of that comment was bleeped off the airwaves.
Yeah, because it's so vile and vicious.
But what Savage said was not. His rant will live in infamy. So, now using the quotes here,
right?
I'll relive this. You're on the air. Don and Mike should take over your show so you can go to a dentist appointment because your teeth are really bad. Are you a sodomite? Foster says yes.
That was the best part, too, when Foster said yes.
Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that? Why don't you see if you can sue me, you pig? You got nothing better than to put me down, you piece of garbage. You got nothing to do today? Go eat a sausage and choke on it. Okay, got another nice caller here who's busy because he didn't have a nice time in the bathhouse and is angry at me today.
Wow.
Let me see.
I think maybe some issues there.
Homophobe.
See.
Big time.
Foster, the prankster, says he's getting a lot of hate mail from the Savage Nation. My intention was not for him to get fired. My intention was to drop the Don and Mike name.
I believe that.
In fact, he is a fan of Savage's show, and he picked him for one simple reason. I look for a reaction.
Wow, well, you got one.
You got it.
Well, and that guy is a professional follower of broadcasts.
Yeah, he likes all radio shows.
He goes and TV shows, Buzz.
Right? Yeah, true.
But there's the headline: Don and Mike vindicated in savage attack. So, Michael Weiner, you should shut your mouth about how you're going to sue us,
please,
for having caused this. And incidentally, if someone calls you up and says you should go to a dentist appointment because your teeth are bad, take it from someone who tosses out insults on a regular basis. Don't go right to AIDS.
No.
Yeah, not really necessary.
Someone says you have bad teeth.
Right.
Don't go right to the AIDS button.
Sure. And better yet, just, let it roll off. God.
Yeah, let it
like we do.
Well, we argue.
We have fun, though. I mean, we don't lose it. You don't lose it like this guy.
We argue, and I've wished death on people.
Yeah. You have.
I've prayed for death, but the point is, I'm doing it in a, you can take it any way you like, in a sophomoric comedic fashion.
Well, really, and
if somebody called me and said you have bad teeth, my first reaction would not be to say, I wish you were dead.
Are you a sodomite? I mean, my God.
Where does that come from?
And now this begs the question, although I'm really tired of talking about Michael Weiner, I got to see what his teeth look like now.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's not on TV anymore, though.
Well, we got to find a picture. Every picture I've tried to find is the guy that his mouth is closed.
Well, if you have bad teeth, that's what you do.
We love doing these segments with, frankly, I think one of the best voiceover guys in America.
Absolutely, no question.
Really a great guy. Dude Walker, he's the guy that does all of our, out-of-spot things, or, they're real dumb. Don and Mike.
How are you, dude?
Hey, I'm doing great.
All right, let's get to this. Dude Walker, voice talent extraordinaire. Dude, we got 80 of them here.
That's right. I'm ready.
Number one on the list that you have, this is our tribute to the disc jockey Michael Savage.
They have very nice teeth. Don Geronimo and Michael Mera.
Here you go, number 43. This is inspired again by that idiot Michael Savage.
They welcome vicious personal attacks. Don Geronimo and Michael Mera.
I like that's timely.
Until the next time on Unsavage Airways, this is Michael Savage. Let's go to a caller. If you have an airline horror story, give me a ring right here on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please. Did you have a worse case than this one?
Hey, Michael Savage. Pleasure to speak with you today.
Yeah.
I was flying out of LaGuardia, and there's two undercover security guards.
Yeah.
Somebody was smoking in the bathroom.
Someone was smoking in the bathroom.
Unbelievable.
Okay. What happened?
Half hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your... because your teeth are real bad.
All right. So you're one of those sodomites.
Yeah.
Are you a sodomite?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that?
Oh.
Why don't you see if you can sue me, you pig? You got nothing better than to put me down, you piece of garbage? You got nothing to do today? Go eat a sausage and choke on it. Get trichinosis. Okay, we have another nice caller here who's busy because he didn't have a nice night in the bathhouse, is angry at me today? Huh? Get me another one. Put another sodomite on.
Wait, what does that mean exactly?
The Don and Mike Show. They are old and pathetic. Don Geronimo and Michael Mera.
Hey, Mick. Hey, gotta tell you, before we get to Mankind, just reading, this Michael Savage thing is so nutty. Here's the latest over the press. Bob Foster, the prank caller, who said Don and Mike had set off events that led to Michael Savage's firing at MSNBC, is slated to make an exclusive appearance tonight at 11 p.m. on the syndicated radio show Online Tonight with David Lawrence.
Oh, our good friend David Lawrence. That'll be interesting.
The caller, known as East Coast Bob, will reportedly tell all about the incident in his first radio interview.
Not sure I like the idea of now giving crank callers, these interview slots, but, it will be interesting because that's what started this whole thing.
It's nuts. I'm curious to hear if anybody actually listened to that guy who called Michael Weiner.
Oh, on the David Lawrence show?
Yeah, he did an exclusive, I'm doing the Dr. Evil quotation marks now, the exclusive interview last night with our friend David Lawrence, who does some kind of online radio thing.
David said always tied radio into computers, the world of computers.
XM or something like that. I don't know. And I'd like to know if anybody heard that, how that went. I guess nobody heard the David Lawrence thing. We got no calls about that at all.
I'm surprised. He's
Go ahead and say it.
He's got a good listenership. He's a friend. David, I'm kidding. Of course.
This guy was.
I like David Lawrence a lot.
Yeah, so do I. Do you remember the time that Frida and I had to go out to eat with him and his wife?
Mm-hmm.
Buzz, didn't you go too?
Yeah, you took me and Marcia as a buffer.
As the buffer couple.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy, though. He really is.
I liked him.
I chatted with him recently at a band gig, and he's a nice guy.
He's a radio guy.
Yeah.
David, hold on. David Lawrence, the handsome David Lawrence on line 1.
Very good. David Lawrence.
Hey, I've been listening to you guys for the last 10 minutes. I told whoever's answering the phone it's me.
Well,
and he put me on hold, and nothing happened.
Would that have been?
Figured I'd wait.
Would that have been Joe that did this to our friend David?
I don't know whoever answered the phone, my friend.
Was it a man?
Yes, it was a man.
Joe. Yeah, it was Joe. Sorry about that, David. I had no idea you were waiting. How did your interview go last night?
Well, first of all, let me just say how much I miss you guys now that I moved to Los Angeles.
Oh, you're in L.A. now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we moved the shows out to L.A., and I can't tell you what kind of withdrawal I've gone through. You know how much I love you guys, and despite whatever you have in your head, Don, I am such a huge fan you can't imagine.
David, I just like kidding you because that night we went to dinner. It was weird. Dave was doing the morning show at Q107,
right,
and Mike and I were doing the morning show at Wava, and when we just got a conversation, he was like, "Let's go to dinner," and I'd never gone to dinner with a competing disc jockey,
right?
So I brought Buzz as the buffer, and that's all there is to that, David. I'm very fond of it.
Well, I'm no longer with that woman that I was with, although she is the mother of my children, and I love you guys to death. You must know that.
Yeah, well, you've always been a big supporter of the show. We appreciate it.
And I read your stuff in R&R all the time, so you got to know I'm very aware of what you're doing. And and this guy, you had this guy on who called Michael Savage. You had the exclusive interview with him last night on your radio show.
It was actually Wednesday night. I don't know why R&R reported it as last night, but it was Wednesday night.
Oh, all right. So what did he have to say?
We got call after call after call from Savage people who wanted to just skewer this guy, and I didn't want to put any of them on the air. I didn't want to, I wanted to talk to this guy about what he did and how he did it, and it was pretty interesting. He had no idea, nor when you hear what he actually said, was it anything that you guys would have blown up over?
No, we know that all he said was that the Savage guy has bad teeth.
Don and Mike should take your spot.
Here's what he said, actually. He said, and this is what was cut out of the delay on television, what he said was, the two guys came out of the bathroom, and I just have to say that Don and Mike need your slot on television because you're horrible at it, and you need to go to the dentist.
And that's it?
That's it.
And after that,
then he blows up and he starts calling him a sodomist and
wishing
AIDS. And,
that seems right.
Nuts. So, did you get any calls from rational people about this guy?
Yeah, they wanted to know if he felt proud of what he was doing. One guy said, you get calls all the time from people who make fun of you. Other talk shows do, and I don't understand why this guy's so proud of what he did. And I said, well, look, people don't get me fired. They don't get Don and Mike fired over this because we know how to handle it, and Savage doesn't.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, you can't blame the crank caller for what this guy said to him. I mean, if we completely lost it and said things that would make us lose our job, it would be our fault, not the caller.
And David, you hit on the main thing. Michael Savage's whole response to this was the guy made vicious personal attacks. Well, the guy said we should take over his job so he could go to the dentist.
On the scale of vicious personal attacks, which I'm sure all of us have experienced in this business, that's nothing.
Hey, listen, David, would you if I put you on hold with Charlie, would you send us a copy of that?
Yeah, you can get it right off the website. You can just click on it and download it.
Oh, all right. Well,
but I'll certainly send it to you, sure.
Yeah, if you would, that would be outstanding. We'd love to play parts of it on the air. And the guy, now, I don't think we've ever talked to the guy. Maybe one time we've actually spoken to him. How did he seem to you? Is he normal?
You know what? He seems like, first of all, he's been a longtime fan of our show because he listens to us on the other station in Sacramento, the bigger station. And, the one that's 50,000 watt clear channel. Anyway.
How's that station? How does that station? Hey, Dave?
No to other people.
Dave, how's that station do between noon and 4?
I don't know. I think they have your competition on and they're getting crushed.
I believe so. He's an honest man.
But no, he said yes. He said, oh, yeah, I listen to you all the time. And sure, I'll be happy to. He's a computer guy. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Yeah, seems like it. That is so funny.
He just sort of like does this as as a prank, he would never, we talked about this on the air, he would never call like, the guy that called during the sniper shootings or during he would never, jump onto a horrible story and prank somebody on the air that way.
Right.
But he just doesn't like Savage, and he loves you guys, and he thought, what the heck? Had no clue that this was going to lead to Savage just boiling over.
That's great. That's great. David, it is great to talk to you. Hold on a second so we can get the information from you about that. Thanks for calling in. Hold on a second.
Good guy.
That's David Lawrence, everybody. Well, I'm not surprised you left her. That's all I want to say.
He brought it up for some reason. He must have sensed something.
Buzz, didn't you feel that?
I don't even remember the woman now. That's been a long time ago.
I'll tell you the truth, I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That's funny.
Out in L.A.
All I know is she really hogged the dumplings that night. That's all I remember about her. I couldn't pick her out of a lineup.
Why can't people just stay together?
We'll be. I'm trying, Mike. Hello, Don and Mike.
Don and Mike.
Howdy.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Hey, Buzz.
Hey.
Hey, if you can stand to listen to Michael Savage's one more time, you're missing the funniest part of that whole thing.
What do you mean when the guy...
5 seconds into it, right after he says you should get AIDS and die, you pig, there's some just off camera, probably a producer, his director goes, oh!
Yeah, I heard that.
No, we've noticed. I don't think we commented on that, but I think we noticed that.
It's like, it might as well have been a flushing sound.
Yeah, I read an account of that, too, that there was, producers that were on mic being heard going, oh.
Yeah. But it wasn't, what I hear is you're being so goofy.
Yeah.
Hello, Don and Mike show.
This is Low Budget Jeopardy.
Here are your categories, guys. They are the Savage Saga.
The Savage Saga. I'll tell you, Michael Caine and I fought some savages.
Jason, go again.
What, Savage Saga?
Savage Saga. All right. Prank caller mentioned this about Michael Savage's appearance.
His bad teeth.
No. Not in the form of a question.
Bill, here's your chance to steal.
What is his bad teeth?
Yes, that's right. Michael Savage's bad teeth.
$1 for you, Bill. You're in control. Select again.
Okay, Savage Saga for 2, please.
Because, we were in this thing because the caller mentioned us. TV network that this dummy was fired from.
What is NBC?
Jason, your chance to steal.
What is MSNBC?
Right, or as I like calling it, BSNBC.
$2 for you, Jason, and you're in control.
Let's finish up the category.
Savage's real last name. It's too funny.
Penis.
You don't know how close you are.
That always makes me chuckle, that word. All right there, Bill, your chance to steal.
What is wiener?
Yeah. His real name is Michael Wiener.
There you go. There's another $2.
And think about it. His real name is Wiener. He changed his radio name to Savage.
There are no scissors in the ocean.
He's like a homophobe. And then also this guy, Michael Wiener. I got to read you some stuff about Michael Savage on his website.
Oh, really?
He's nuts. I'm getting a great deal of satisfaction. As I mentioned last week, I swear I hadn't heard of this guy as a radio guy. I'd seen the book, but never knew he had a radio show. And, somebody asked me about it this weekend. How could you not know that he has a radio show? Well, I live in Washington. We all do. He's on a station in Washington that might as well be a CB radio. I mean, he's on WTNT.
Well, and it's rare that you're not on top of somebody doing something. He's just not on the radar.
But I've been visiting. I've been sent links from friends out in the Bay Area to his website, and the spin that this guy's doing is incredible.
He's just not biting the bullet and taking responsibility.
No. So we got that guy. Week number 2 continuing. This guy, Michael Savage. Now. Last week, the trade papers and the radio industry had the headlines, Don and Mike vindicated with Michael Savage. Michael Wiener, that's his real name.
Cleared it up.
Well, I went to a website, and I don't want to give this guy any additional pub, because, like I said, I had never heard of this guy before last Monday. But there is spin on his website like I have never seen before. First off, do you know if you want to join his fan club? You know what it's called?
What?
The Paul Revere Society.
Why? Because the British are coming?
No, because he's like pro-conservative. He's a conservative, going to fix America, make it like it was back in olden time.
Oh, F him.
Warning his fellow patriots.
So here is the first link.
That we're under attack?
Yes, from the liberals.
Right. Here's the first link. Let me move my microphone over here. That just cracked my ass up. Remember last week I read you that story from the San Francisco Chronicle?
Right.
Remember that Michael Weiner, made a statement last week that you and I put this guy, East Coast Bob, up to making the phone call, and it was all a conspiracy, and that we had launched attacks against him, and it was all, a competing radio show thing.
He's made this guy, East Coast Bob, maybe more famous than he ever wanted to be.
Oh, yeah. So it says here now, proof that Savage was set up. And then it says, the attached article from the San Francisco Chronicle confirms exactly what I had been saying. And notice now he's changed.
This is him talking?
Yes, this is his website.
He has changed.
Now, you remember that last week it said on the website, and he made statements to the press saying it was someone affiliated with the Don and Mike show.
Right.
They've made grandiose verbal attacks against me.
Yeah, right.
Et cetera. Well, now he writes, here's the proof that Savage was set up. The attached article from the San Francisco Chronicle confirms exactly what I have been saying. There was a crank caller, or worse, a setup to destroy me in television, orchestrated by unknown interests. Click below, and you will see who this person is, and that he admits he did it. You will also see that everything I told you about the incident thus far has been absolutely true. I specifically aimed my vitriol at this individual who had insulted me personally. I also thought that this interchange was taking place off the air.
God.
As this story unfolds, you will read it here first.
Oh, my God.
Now, as if that's not BS enough, hold on. You click up a little bit.
What is with these guys?
And here's the other headline. And there's a picture of a skunk. And it says, Fox News lies. Uh-oh. Lying about Michael Savage's ratings is not fair and balanced. A phony conservative is trying to put a knife in my back while I'm on the ground. It's bad enough when the liberals lie. Now a legion of so-called conservatives are creating false statements, publishing half-truths, and trying to rewrite the history of my ratings on television.
Yeah, everybody's lying except you.
Another of Fox's unknown clowns wrote a column this weekend stating that my ratings were savaged by Fox and CNN. Click below and see some rating samples. You will see that I was winning on television. I was beating CNN on some weekends and severely impacted Fox's lead. These are desperate words.
Wow.
From a very, very desperate disc jockey with bad teeth.
Yeah, and he's obviously preaching to his own fan base by putting that on the website where he's not going to be questioned unless someone looks at it.
Oh, now, hold on. Here, now, I've also got news about the Paul Revere Society.
Very good.
There are 8 things that the Paul Revere Society does.
Yes.
If you join, and I'm guessing that you probably have to pay some money to join.
You put on, like, fancy tight pants with high socks?
No,
white sheet.
And affirmative action. Hold on. Here's the first one. And affirmative action.
Yeah, okay.
Close the borders now. Deport all illegal immigrants now. Eliminate bilingual education in all states. Require health tests for all recent foreign-born immigrants. Make tax cuts permanent. Reduce the number of federal employees. Tort reform. Stop class action lawyers.
Okay, he's all over the place. But, come on. It's a familiar anthem.
Yeah, very familiar.
Then we have, hold on.
When they do that anti-immigrant thing over in Germany fairly effectively.
Yes, they've done that before.
Hold on. There's one more. Savage loses TV show. The real story.
Yeah.
Real. So, right. It's got the pictures of this guy.
Any pictures of his teeth?
No. Now, he's not changed this yet from last week, which is funny. I guess he's taken the part out about us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, he has?
Yeah. Hey, Rob, where's the Michael Savage stuff? Will you load that in the machine for me? Because it's important that
he's taken that out. He's taken our names out of it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's his new and improved mea culpa.
Okay.
What happened on the air is much different than what is being reported. I was in the middle of an airline horror story segment with a great set. See photos above. Out of nowhere, a crank caller from a competitive talk show. No, I guess he hasn't changed. went from describing his airline horror story to making vicious personal attacks.
Oh,
me.
shut up.
Yeah.
I signaled and thought this crank caller was cut from the air.
He's lying.
His insults continued in my earpiece, and I reacted to him personally.
No, not insults. It's one thing the guy said.
As an individual who was attacking me to defend himself.
Liar.
Unfortunately, my personal comments to this crank caller were broadcast.
Yeah,
Now,
here's the total absurdity of what he says. It's as though if he said it personally, that it somehow doesn't count.
It doesn't get on the air.
The fact that it did, really, that's ridiculous. Now, granted, you can say the F word and say everything off air that you can't say on there, but I mean, this is what the guy chose to say.
And the other thing
to put the guy down.
That's nuts is, I've read in other stories, he didn't know he was on the air.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from.
That is crap.
And, I've not actually seen the video, but I've heard from more sources than one that when he wasn't on the air, he said it at the camera. Which is
Until the next time on Unsavage Airways, this is Michael Savage. Let's go to a caller. If you have an airline horror story, give me a ring right here on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please. Did you have a worse case than this one?
Hey, Michael Savage. Pleasure to speak with you today.
Yeah.
I was flying out of LaGuardia, and there's 2 undercover security guards.
Yeah.
Somebody was smoking in the bathroom.
Someone was smoking in the bathroom.
Unbelievable.
Okay. What happened?
Half hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Don and Mike take your... because your teeth are real bad.
All right. So you're one of those sodomites.
Yeah.
Are you a sodomite?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that?
Oh.
Why don't you see if you can sue me, you pig? You got nothing better than to put me down, you piece of garbage? You got nothing to do today? Go eat a sausage and choke on it. Get trichinosis.
Now, here's my question. Exactly where...
Now, do we have more of that? Because I want to hear what he says after this.
Exactly where in this does he think he's not on the air?
Right. Yeah, right.
Okay?
Okay, we have another nice caller here who's busy because he didn't have a nice night in the bathhouse, is angry at me today. Huh? Get me another one. Put another sodomite on. No more calls? I don't care. Let's go to the next scene. I don't care about these bums. They mean nothing to me.
He is
all sausages.
absolutely certain that he's on the air.
Yes, he is.
Next scene. On to the next scene on the Savage Nation.
There's no break. No. There's no commercial break. There's no crying in baseball.
You are on the air, Mr. Savage.
Guy's just a liar. Too funny.
Unbelievable.
And I go to this website. I have to thank a friend of mine, Frank, who lives out in the Bay Area, who sent me this over the weekend and said, really, you should go on this and read. This guy is obsessed with trying to spin out of this story.
Well, that kind of radio, and I think everybody knows that kind of conservative radio, which you hear all over the place. You hear so many of these guys. That's their whole deal, is they can never be wrong. They can never have a dialogue. It's always their way or the highway. That's just the way it works.
I tell you this, Paul Revere never knew when he was on the air. Of course, they didn't have radio when Paul Revere.
No, of course not. And you know what? I think Paul Revere, should be would be turning around in his little colonial grave.
Don and Mike, hello.
Yep.
Don, Mike, idiots, both of you.
Right.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Hey, San Francisco Bay Area caller. Been listening to you since KHDK, and then I migrated to San Francisco. Anyway, you were all over the radio, all over the television, all over the media, print media, by name, because of this Savage thing. I love Don and Mike. I hate Mike Savage. I'll hang up and listen.
Well, I have a question for you, Don. Will this bring you back into the bosom of the Democratic Party?
Oh, no. No,
you're still out there?
Because to me, he's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. He's a nut.
Yeah, he's a nut.
And frankly, what does the Paul Revere Society think?
Oh, God.
Let's ask them. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Lindsay and Paul Revere and the Raiders.
John. Cherokee people.
Indian Reservation.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah. And then Cherokee people in parentheses.
Ah, okay. Right. Cherokee people.
This is the Paul Revere Society that I'm in. Funny douchebag.
The Don and Mike Show. They welcome vicious personal attack. Don Geronimo and Mike O'Mara.
All right, wheel Dennis Murphy in. Oh, my God, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Major epic star Dennis Murphy. And,
hold on a second. Hello, Don. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, you're on the air. Hi.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I know you hate it, but I want to throw in a little joke.
Now, why would you want to do that? Do you want to give out your phone number?
Sure.
Hold on.
See, now, hold on a second.
I think now we're getting lonely people that simply want to have their phone numbers given out publicly.
I don't know. I still like it, though. Hold on a second. We'll find out if it's legit. Hi, Dennis.
Hi, Don. Hi, Mike.
Long time since you've been here.
This guy, Dustin, who's on the telephone.
Yeah.
Now, it says here, remember, he wants to prove that all listeners are not idiots.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Why he's calling.
Is this the guy with the joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Justin, is that the reason you're calling? And, this is a misconception.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think...
all the really dumb, bad jokes that aren't original.
We don't think that all of our listeners are idiots. We think that most of the people who call us are idiots. But keep in mind that the people who call us make up less than 1% of the people who are listening.
Absolutely, and I don't know what point this gentleman is trying to make, but obviously, would this speak to the quality of your joke in your own opinion?
Just listened over the last couple of days, and you even did the joke, that little spiel thing, and nobody had anything worth saying.
All right, my friend, well, please remember that if, in fact, we don't laugh at your joke, and we're ready to laugh, but if by some chance we don't, we will give out this phone number that you're calling us on.
Not a problem. I can use the people to talk to.
All right.
It's an honest answer.
Go ahead. Here's Dustin's joke.
All right. What's big and orange with jagged teeth and sitting on my front porch?
What's big and orange with giant teeth and
jagged teeth?
What's big and orange with jagged teeth and sitting on your front porch?
What?
Michael Savage, and I'll paint him any damn color I want to.
Thank you. Listen, everybody, please call. Please call this guy.
That's a stupid sodomite. What can I do?
Please call this guy at area code 443.
Where's that?
No idea. 604-6865.
You see Dennis furiously writing down the phone number.
Dennis,
do you do that every time we do that?
Hold on. Someone said something in my headphones. Did you hear that, Buzz?
Yeah. Charlie Burhill, I think, said Maryland.
Yes, I am.
443-604-6865. Thanks for proving not all of our callers are idiots.
Enjoy your long weekend.
Your callers soon. Oh, here they come already. They're beeping in.
Here they come. Okay, thank you.
People do judge you by the words you use. When you speak well, you command respect.
I heard that spiel thing you were doing.
And,
I heard it.
Hello, Don and Mike.
Mazel tov.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah. Yes, sir. What can we do for you?
Hey, I just wanted to give you an update on Michael Savage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That tool. What's he up to now?
He last night I was listening to his show to see if he was talking any S about you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And well, he didn't say anything about you guys, but he said.
Well, he probably wouldn't since he got fired the last time our names were mentioned on the show.
That's true. He said he wants to run against Arnold Schwarzenegger for governor of California, and he's serious about it.
Yeah. Well, California, a very special place to live. Good luck to him.
Serious, Mike.
Hello, Don and Mike.
Hello, Don and Mike show. Make Rob laugh.
Yeah, I just want to say I think that you guys were way too hard on that Michael Savage guy. I loved him in the Wonder Years.
Close. I just was exhaling. That wasn't a laugh.
Hello, Don and Mike show.
Unexpected.
Hello, man.